You can begin, David.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to the regular December meeting of the Clarke County Board of Assessors. Chairman Bradbury has asked me as vice chairman to sit in for him today as he is absent. With that, I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes of our last meeting, which was on November 12th.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Minutes are approved. Also need a motion to adopt today's agenda of December 10th.
So moved.
Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The agenda is adopted. Kurt, do we have any public comment to be read into the record today?
We do not.
Thank you. Our first order of business is, I believe, from our attorney's office regarding tax allocation districts. Ms. George?
Hello, everybody. I really appreciate you being willing to allow us to come talk to you. So I'm Sarah George. I work for our manager's office, and I see Manager Williams is joining the call as well. We just wanted to take a little bit of time to talk to you about the proposed tax allocation districts that our mayor and commission adopted on November the 10th, 2020. There are 6 in total. And we just wanted to take the time to kind of talk to you a little bit about what tax allocation districts are, and to make sure you had the information that you needed. We did reach out to the tax assessor's office to request that the Board of Assessors certify value base for our tax allocation districts. And so that's kind of led the way for our introduction here today.
Everything's
so
froze up on my end, people. Bear with me.
Okay, perfect.
Can you hear us, Quazon?
Quazon, are you there?
Kurt, for some reason or other today, I've got a slow internet connection.
Amanda's texting you.
Can you hear us at all, Quazon?
Amanda, can I just dial in?
All right, we'll give Quazon a minute to dial in. So, Ms. George and Kurt, what you're asking us to do today is to certify the base year values of each tax allocation district?
Yes,
That's
sir.
correct.
That is correct.
And I understand that the school board obviously will have to approve these as well. Do other taxing authorities within those districts have to make that approval as well? Or is it just a school board?
So yes, sir. So the school board will have to meet and deliberate and pass a resolution if they choose to consent to their portion of the tax base going towards the tax allocation district funds. And I believe that they are actually going to be talking about tax allocation districts at tonight's meeting. So we're still waiting to hear whether or not they want to, if they're going to pass the resolution to consent to participate. But yes, you are correct. They would have to pass a resolution, and that would then authorize their portion of the tax base to go into the TADs.
Well, obviously, I'm with the Downtown Development Authority, and we collect a mill of property tax on those properties that fall within the ADDA district. Will there be a similar resolution required from our board for that particular TAD district?
And David, is that mill that's over and beyond what the mayor and commission normally levy?
Well, it's levied on our behalf by the mayor and commission. It's an additional mill of property tax for those properties that fall within the district. We have to ask permission of the mayor and commission every year to collect that tax. So we may be umbrellaed under them as far as this legislation is concerned, but I don't know that. And I was remiss by not welcoming Manager Williams to our meeting. Welcome. We're glad you're here.
Thank you, David. I appreciate that. Well, you ask a good question. You know, I would think that your mill would be preserved because it's over and beyond. But Sarah, you may know different right off the bat. So, but we can double check with our counsel on that.
Yes, I think that's probably. I'll reach out to our attorney who is helping us with tax allocation districts to confirm. But Blaine, Manager Williams, I do believe you may be correct in that.
And just to be clear, and David, I think y'all would be the only taxing authority would be other than, the only other taxing authority that would have any jurisdiction within these 6 TAD areas that have been created. These are outside of Winterville and Bogart.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, well, I've got, I guess we're waiting on Quazon too to come back. But we had a presentation, David, that we can walk you through if you like just a primer on TADs. But if y'all don't want that, we'll do whatever you would like to do to talk about and answer your questions.
We'll see what Quaison wants to do. If he wants to hear that presentation, we'll go ahead through that. But let's see what happens when he gets back on. If y'all could, we appreciate your patience and our technology woes.
Well, we all share the same technology, so.
Sometimes we get Quaison on a job site somewhere, and that's an interesting conversation as well.
Well, we've got our SPLOST tiering discussion tonight, which will be interesting. Let's see.
Quaison, are you there?
He's muted at the moment, so let's see.
For some reason, I have a slow internet connection in the office today. I don't know why. But you should be able to hear me now.
You're in.
All right. Quaison, we were just discussing tax allocation districts, and Attorney George and Manager Williams have graciously offered to walk us through a presentation if you would like that education. Quaison, can you hear us? Amanda, are you hearing anything from Quaison?
No,
Give me
I'm not.
2 minutes, going to try a different device.
Okay, we'll give you a minute.
Well, while we're waiting, just to clarify, so I'm actually not an attorney. I just work for the manager's office. So I just wanted to clarify that
I appreciate
for the record.
Yeah. But you can play one on TV, though, can't you?
I can try. I think Michael Petty might have a couple of things to say about that.
My guess is that you know more about this than I do, Sarah, because I haven't been working on these tabs.
That may be the case, but I didn't want to mislead anybody.
I have a question while we're waiting for Quaison. It seems like a lot of the TADs are very compact, like one would understand a TAD for the mall area, for example, or the North Avenue area, certainly the Newton Bridge Road one. and forgive me if I'm focused on downtown, but the downtown one seems a little on the gerrymandered side, so to speak. Is is the is the idea to fund the blighted area, the underdeveloped, blighted is not the way I want to describe it, but the underdeveloped area of the East Athens Plaza Triangle with the perceived gains in tax values from downtown? It, it seems like there's a loose connection there between development potential and where the money would be going to. So are we prospering off downtown to fund an undeveloped area? And that's not necessarily bad for downtown, but it does seem to be a disconnect.
So uh,
I see. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So understand this.
what are you doing?
I'm afraid we're losing you now, Blaine.
Yeah, unfortunately, we had some audio issues there. So, to that point, I think Manager Williams is trying to communicate. Initially, the downtown tax allocation district that had been proposed was actually more central to downtown. We did receive a good amount of resident feedback from that Triangle Plaza area that in deliberation with the mayor and commission, they thought it best to extend that tax allocation district to be able to capture some of those areas as well, based on some resident interest and some redevelopment needs.
So
Okay, that's better.
what happens if all the development occurs downtown and developers want to get some benefit out of the taxes that have gone into their development? Maybe they have a proposal that requires some infrastructure. Does the commission ultimately decide whether or not to pull that trigger? Or is it always going to be for the East Athens area? Will some of those TAD funds be used for downtown?
Can y'all hear me okay now? Okay. If I might, sir, I'll try and address that. So when they set up the TADs, they have 4 goals that were associated with each TAD. Ultimately, David, to answer your question, the mayor and commission will decide how those funds are allocated. The goals were meant to telegraph, and it's not, for instance, there's 4 goals, 100% of the money, 25% has to go to each goal. It's just, here's things we'd like to accomplish within these redevelopment areas. They have yet to set up the governance structure on this. As if you'll remember, there was the mayor and commission has a redevelopment authority right now. So if nothing changes, then they are the final arbiter of those decisions. There was some discussion about having some citizen advisory committees that would help give some input to the mayor and commission on how. And so let's be clear about this, because you've asked a very good question that has several different parts. That is, so this is an area TAD right now. There's no active project. Come January 1st, or really when people start paying their tax bills for 2021, whatever the increment is over the baseline you're about to set will go into a special fund. Okay. And area TADs, they don't tend to grow leaps and bounds until there's a lot of activity. Of course, you could argue that this might be the most active one of the six. I think it's envisioned that the Citizens Committee would give some recommendations to the Mayor and Commission in present form about what that might look like. The school board has indicated an interest to participate in that conversation if they were to join and pledge some of their increment. So that governance structure is still being, it's still evolving. So let's say that you do have a downtown project that comes up, and they a developer says, "Look, I can do this, but but for your participation, I can't make this happen." And that's the way those TADs go. And that becomes a project, and the end of that project would be a development agreement entered into by the mayor and commission that would pledge perhaps some portion of the increment that development would ultimately generate. If we had a citizens group in process, and this is all up to the mayor and commission, I'm not sure that citizens group would negotiate directly with the developer. I think this would probably be much like now, where staff works and understands the terms and it's discussed with the mayor and commission. But certainly with a citizens group in the mix, they might at least give some opinion on what they think on how those funds should be distributed. I hope that's helpful.
Yes, it is. Very good. Considering our technology issues today, and I don't want to cut anyone's presentation or hard work off, they've developed it, but maybe we'll forego the presentation and go into the task at hand, and that's approving the base values for these TADs. Is that acceptable to everyone?
Yes.
Okay, I assume, Kurt, you and your staff have reviewed the information. Perhaps y'all the ones that have come up with the base values for the TADs. Is that a correct assumption?
Yes, David. We've worked along with Sarah to kind of go through, and throughout this process, I think the GIS department has been a big help with Joseph D'Angelo and his crew, and Sarah's been working with them, putting all of this information together, and Amanda has been providing information to them, even though at first we didn't know why we were providing the information. Now we know, but that's where we are today. Is we've got the 6 TADs for you. You've got the certification letters that right in the file that was sent, and so the first TAD allocation district, which is the mall area, the taxable digest based on the 2020 tax year is $34,161,450, and that involves 176 parcels, 175 of those which are taxable. Tax allocation district 2, the value is $42,838,487. That one is 87 taxable parcels and 5 exempt. TAD 3 is the value that we'll be certifying is $36,877,354. That's 149 taxable parcels and 12 exempt. TAD 4, which is the downtown that you were just talking about, David, it's $83,742,954, 182 taxable and 38 exempt parcels. TAD 5 is the North Avenue corridor. It's $15,861,470 that is being certified for 56 taxable and 12 exempt parcels. And then the final TAD district, which is the Lexington Road Gaines School area, is taxable value of $41,435,998 for 304 taxable and 4 exempt parcels. So we need the board to make a motion to approve these 6 certification letters.
Very good. So we would need a motion on each TAD district.
I
So,
don't think so. I think you could do one in one motion.
okay. I'll take a motion then if there's no further discussion.
Motion
Whether to approve the districts face value.
motion to approve all 6 as recommended by staff.
I'll second the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Blaine. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you all.
David. Thank you, Quazon.
All right, our next item of business is personal property.
At this time each year, we have to approve the pre-built mobile home report. Basically, this is just a consolidation of all the mobile homes or pre-builds that we have, and we'll be certifying those values to the tax commissioner in January for them to send out the pre-bills to get ready for the decals. So basically, we have 1,757 pre-built mobile homes with a grand total of $12,948,668 that we're asking y'all to approve that digest today.
Okay.
Very good. Do we have any discussion or questions? I'll accept the motion.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. The next item of business is conservation use removal.
We received a request from a law firm in Atlanta regarding parcel 0444037. The parcel is owned by Quality Deer Management. They own a 17.96 acre tract of land over off Whitetail Way, over there across from Sam's off Atlanta Highway. And the parcel's been in conservation use for since 2019. They are requesting to breach the covenant for 2019 and 2020. They are aware of the penalties, which would be $16,458.90. They are selling the property to a non-qualified buyer after the first of the year. And so they want to breach it beforehand, because if they wait, you have to wait a whole year and keep that penalty amount in escrow. Since the owner is all based off the owner record January 1st. So we do not see any reason why they can't breach their conservation use. So it is our recommendation to breach this covenant for 2019 and 2020.
Very well. Just as an aside, do you know what development opportunities are awaiting there, or is that to be determined?
I actually think it's somebody that's going to preserve it.
Oh, great.
But it's an LLC, from what I've heard. I'm not sure, but I think with COVID, I have been told that most all of their staff is working from home, so they do not need, I guess, all the acreage that they have. So they might even sell. They own another 100+ acre tract out there.
I see.
So they might come back later and breach that one. I'm not sure, but I haven't heard. I don't know for certain what's going out there or what they're doing with it yet.
Very good. Well, if all parties are educated on the breach, then I'll take a motion to remove the conservation use.
Motion to approve the recommendation of staff of both years.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Our next item is proposed budget for the next FY.
Here is the preliminary FY22 budget. Just kind of gone through and updated the numbers. Overall, we're supposed to be don't ask for any more money. You can kind of redistribute any way you want to, but they don't want us to be asking for anything in excess. So, and just kind of going through and looking at our expenditures over the last couple of years, a lot of line items are staying the same because they're kind of set where they are. Some are changing a little, and so basically, y'all got a copy of it, and you can look through it. We're not approving anything today. I'm just giving y'all a heads up at what we're looking at for the coming year. For the last couple of years, I have requested a new position, and I will be doing that again. Our digest has grown by over 50% in the last 7 years. And so, even though our digest has grown and everything has increased, the amount of stuff that we have to look at, the amount of things that are processed, all of our administration appeals last twice as long as they used to. Through all of that, we lost a staff person back in 2010 during the recession, and we've never been able to gain them back. And so, you can't get any back if you don't request it. So I'm requesting another position again. We'll see what happens. But that's separate from this.
Sure. I assume your travel and education line item is down since no one's traveling anymore.
Well, it is and it isn't. I mean, we still have to pay for all the conferences and schools. You're right. I mean, that line item really isn't changing a lot, but the travel and lodging, you can see the expenses are down FY20, and but we don't know. Things may open up, and we're talking about the budget that's July of 21 through June of 2022.
Sure.
So, 6 months, a year from now, it may be business as usual. So,
well, my 2 cents on not to hijack the conversation, but my 2 cents on conferences and travel, especially for assessors. I thought the online training that Quason and I took a few weeks ago was excellent, and I would hope that they would continue that style of education in the future. I mean, I know that's not for everybody, especially for staff people, but I think for citizen assessors, that is the way to go.
I loved it as well.
And I'm not going to disagree with you. It's good to have that opportunity, and we certainly have staff people that would be fine with that. But I'm gonna be honest. For me, I prefer the class because I interact with so many different people, and you can't do that online.
Well, for you, it's that part of the conference is more important than
exactly.
So yes, I would definitely see that, but there's no reason to send me, Jeb, and Quason and pay for our lodging at some of these places when we can take a course online. But anyway, that's an aside.
Oh no, that's fine. I mean, I totally agree with you. So here's the budget, and so just kind of look it over. If you have any questions, give me a call, and we'll actually be formally approving this at the January meeting.
Very good.
Very good.
All right, thank you, Kurt. Our next item is our digest appeal update.
Just to kind of run through, kind of get the necessary things out of the way first. We've gotten the Department of Revenue, the 2021 homestead exemption pursuant to the official code of Georgia 48.5, 48B, and 48.5, 52A, which it talks about disabled veterans and surviving spouse of service members killed in action. And it's the resulting adjusted amount is now $100,896. That amount goes up each year, and so that will be the amount of their homestead exemption. and this is just something we have to adopt that the state provides. So we need y'all to adopt this new homestead exemption amount.
Very good. Can I get a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All
I've
right.
also got a list of the motor vehicle appeals. I like to present those every 3 or 4 months. Basically what we've got is everything that's occurred in the last 12 months, just to kind of give you an idea. So, you know, it's pretty steady. You know, we'll go a month or two where we won't get any appeals. And then we'll, like lately, we've been bombarded for some reason. They must have, you know, we had a staff person, Richard, who handled those. So now we've got some new staff that are working on these. And again, nothing y'all have to approve because y'all approved this many years back. But I just like to present these to you every once in a while, just to kind of show you what we're working with. And I tell you, it probably doesn't hurt to just kind of adopt what we've done. So let's go ahead and do that.
Okay. Quaison, can I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second, all those in favor say aye.
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 2020 appeals. I've presented to you the list that's been settled, resolved since the last Board of Assessors meeting. All these were personal property appeals, and so we resolved 19 of those. We've got 7 personal property appeals left and 3 real, and that's it.
Okay.
So we got 10 appeals left. Everything else has been heard, either been resolved by us or heard by the Board of Equalization or heard by a hearing officer. And so at this point, you know, we're just waiting to see if anybody appeals to Superior Court. We've had one that has, and we've got one that's talking about it. And, you know, we'll deal with those as we get them. But, you know, we're trying to, each year it takes longer and longer just to get through the initial wave. But, you know, we're in decent shape. We've got 10 appeals left. And it is December. We used to get through with these by the middle of October.
That's quite a body of work, and accolades to you and your staff for whittling it down to the last 10.
Ditto.
So this list of appeals that were settled, that I need y'all to adopt these values.
Understood. Can I get a motion to adopt?
So moved to accept the recommendation of staff.
Second, all those in favor say aye.
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 All right. That's it as far as our regular session. We can go ahead and go into executive session as soon as Amanda is ready.
All right.
I just need to get a motion to go into executive session.
Thank you. Can I get a motion for entering into executive session for attorney-client? Second, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right. Give me just a second.
All right. Session.
So moved.
Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Very good. Kurt, do you have anything else for us on the other portion of the agenda?
We skipped over item E, the 2021 meeting schedule.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I don't have anything. Normally, I would print a schedule of the year of when we're going to meet and where. I wasn't sure because of COVID if we were going to continue doing them virtually, if we were going to stick with the same time, same day. Maybe y'all can talk and think about that. But as of right now, I've got our January meeting scheduled the second Thursday at 4 o'clock. But
I would recommend
that's something to think about.
Sure. Well, I'll think about that, but I would recommend mirroring the schedule in terms of online or in person with that of the county commission. If the county commission it continues to meet online, we should probably continue that as well when they consider it safe enough to return to public meetings. Then we should probably do that as well. But at this point, I don't see any reason not to meet virtually for the next foreseeable future. Quaison, do you agree or disagree?
I'm in agreement with that. I mean, safety is a priority. We're still in a pandemic.
Right. All right. Very good.
And the time, y'all want to talk to?
I think 4
Jeb
o'clock
and
is a good time if that's okay with Quaison and Jeb.
I'm great with 4 o'clock.
Jeb sometimes has issues getting here, but I know his schedule is not definite all the time, but whatever he would.
We'll keep it as is and like we have been doing going forward, and I'll relay that to Jeb and then
see what he says. But
very good.
And then we'll just approve an official schedule at the January meeting.
Thank you. Sounds good.
Okay.
Hey,
and I do have one other thing. I have one other thing too. We have a homestead exemption that we need to approve. It was removed back in October. The individual is Lydia Shearer. She lives at 1021 Bedford Trail. We had removed it. She appealed it and provided documentation, and I feel confident with continuing her homestead exemption at this location.
Very good. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
One other thing, we've got a request from Shealy Family Partnership. They're in conservation use, and they mentioned to us on the phone that, or not on the phone, on the phone and then by letter, that they are accepting dirt from a third party who's just going to bring dirt to their site and leave it there. And, they may be able to fill in some low places, but that's the only way they're going to use the dirt, or the person that's leaving the dirt is going to come back and pick it up later. And they were just wondering if that would breach their conservation use. And we told them by phone that it would not, as long as they don't sell the dirt or attempt to make any kind of business venture out of it, they would be safe. And so they were wanting the Board of Assessors to provide a determination letter to them about that. And that's not something that we do.
Okay.
Just because we don't know exactly what they're going to do with their property.
Right.
All we can do is tell them by phone or by email that, as long as they do what they're saying they're going to do with the dirt, there shouldn't be an issue. And that's as far as I would go.
Very good. I agree. Don't want to give them
Don, what you think?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. So we will not provide them a determination letter. We'll just tell them, hey, look, we think you're good. As long as you just do what you're saying you're going to do, then we shouldn't have any issues.
Very good.
All right.
Okay. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Kurt. Thanks, Amanda. Thank you, Michael.
All right. See y'all.